You're
What's that?
what's up, bro? How you doing,
I'm straight. I just got done golfing, bro.
bro? That's like been your pastime, huh?
I know, bro. I know. Young Tiger, Turbo Tiger.
Yeah. Did you start recently? You've been playing for a while.
Man, I've been playing for 2 months, bro.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I remember you added TaylorMade on Instagram. And they sent you clubs like the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was tough, man. Oh, your boy Andrew Hawkins is on here.
I feel, man, you need to boot him off, man. He ain't no good.
That's too funny, man. But all right, I appreciate you coming on. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Obviously, we've gotten to know each other pretty well, just talking ball and exchanging film and stuff. So this can be cool stuff. Let's get right into it, though. So we had a lot of questions. The questions all revolved around Turbo and relating to you in some way as an undersized receiver or a receiver who was kind of overlooked. So let's just start with your journey. Like, what if you had to start with the Taylor Gabriel journey? Like, where are you going to start as far as your path to the NFL?
I would start I would start in Cleveland, just not getting that call on signing day and not knowing where I was gonna go. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like lost. So my decision really came down to me. It was really either Cleveland, the Raiders, or Baltimore. But that was on tryout, so I ain't have a undrafted nothing, man. That was really just a camp body. That's what they call them, camp bodies. So really, I was just a camp body, really.
See, that's crazy. See, I have like probably 4 or 5 guys I'm training right now that are camp bodies. So like, what was that like? Bodies. It's a very uncertain time because they go to camp, you come back, you don't have a call, and you're like working out, just uncertain. Like, when is this call going to come? Like, take me into that a little more.
So it's a rookie minicamp. So it's a 3-day rookie minicamp. So I went there, and the first day, actually, I got hurt. I strained my hamstring, but that was after we did one-on-ones, after we did, you know what I mean, 7-on-7. So luckily, I showed enough talent, like speed and ability and agility, to stay on the team. So one thing I did is I went up to the GM's office and I basically like begged him, like, man, if you just keep me around for OTAs, man, I promise this will be the best decision that you ever made. And this is me going up to the GM. Anybody in the NFL know, like, man, if you see the GM, you kind of like stiff face and walk by. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody say that to the GM. So I was just taking it out on the limb, bro. And I went upstairs and I talked to the GM, and he kept me, bro. And the rest is history.
That's unbelievable, man. I never heard a story like that. That's dope.
Crazy, bro. It's so crazy.
That's dope because it's so wild with some of my clients that I'm training. They're like looking to me for advice, and I don't, you just gotta stay ready. But like, you can't really take matters into your own hands. That's about as much as you could do, and it's cool that it worked out for you.
Yeah, bro. All I could do is ask, bro. He gave me an opportunity.
100%.
Just being undrafted in a tryout, bro. It's crazy to look back and see how long I've came. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. And then we were texting yesterday, and you were like, yo, it's going to be funny to tell the people that I was too fast for the NFL at first, and kind of how some of your routes were out of control. You had trouble kind of keeping your depth. Like, talk to me, because there's a lot of kids like that, too, who are super athletic but don't really understand what it's like to play receiver and the art of it. So talk to me about that adjustment and how you kind of fix that.
Coming in, I mean, you seen Hawk that was on there. He helped me a little bit. He helped me too crazy, but it was a big adjustment because when you think of just NFL and me coming from a Division II, you think of the speed adjustment, the how fast the game is going. So I felt like I had to run fast all the time, with everything I was doing. But one thing that I figured out is that I was out of control, bro. Like, I wasn't able to stop as good. I wasn't able to be friendly coming back to the ball, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like me running fast was going to scare the DB, but it did. But also, I was at a disadvantage with being crisp in my routes, bro. Sometimes I was too short. Sometimes I was too deep. Sometimes I was just out of control, like butt hook into the DB, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I learned, bro, from the transition from my rookie year to now. It's just being in control. So now I would say, bro, I run my routes probably 60%, but from a DB standpoint, I look like I'm running 100%.
Yo, I literally had a D3 kid who was a JUCO transfer the other day, and I was like, you never need to be running routes at 100%. Like, you're athletic enough where you always got to be in control, slow everything down. So what was it, Andrew Hawkins? Like, what was that adjustment? What finally pounded that into your head? Because it's hard. It's easier said than done, just running routes at 60%. Like, that feels really awkward. Take me more into that process.
It took me about 2 years to really just get adjusted to it. I mean, seeing Hawk in the way he run his routes, not just Hawk, but Travis Benjamin. I had a lot of fast guys to look at and watch. So just seeing those type of guys, like being control of their routes, the depth of their routes, misdecision and misdirection of giving the DB false acceleration. That was one thing that I figured out. A false acceleration get a DB to open his hips. So it took me a minute to transition that from practice in the games. When you get in the game, you like mentally, you know what I'm saying?
Right, everything's at another level.
Yeah, so it took me about 2 years to really understand, like, it's better to be in control of my routes than out there running just full speed, bro, out of control, slipping and stuff. It's 3rd down and 6, and you got a route that you need to be 8 yards at. You slip at 6 and the ball, you know what I'm saying? So it took me a minute to adjust to it. But it's just funny when I tell people one thing that I had to learn is to not be so fast.
Yeah. It's so interesting. And it's something that I think if you're a receivers coach or you're in it every day, like, you can relate to that because there's so many kids like that. Yeah. And, you know, something I preach on my page all the time is patient but sudden. You know, like, patient when you execute your plan, and then sudden when you finally make your move. But the patience is the key. Let it all play out.
Exactly. You know? Bro, exactly.
And I think that's something you've developed a lot. Like, the more I've watched your film, the more I've tried to study years previous and to now. And something even we've texted about privately at times is like those plans of you just, I think, trusting everything more and trusting your speed more and being able to stay patient and really see these things through and not be in a rush.
Definitely, bro. I was when I was young, bro, I was definitely out of control, bro. It was disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes me cringe when I go back and look at, like, my written tape, bro.
I feel you 100%. Are there any drills? Like, do you have anything specific for people who might struggle with that you feel like really helped you, or a specific piece of advice?
I mean, just cone drills, just regular, like the 4 square drills, or you can kind of set up the cone where your route is. You can put if you got like a 10-yard curl or 12-yard curl or something like that, you can set a cone at 5 to 6 yards and figure out where you can get that speed burst at. So being the anticipation of coming out the line and then getting that extra speed burst, but not being out of control. Because when you put that speed burst, you got that extra burst, so it's harder to come out your brakes. So you really got to figure out what you're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? To do that. So me, if I'm running a 12-yard curl, I'm giving up all my clues and stuff, man. You heard me right now. But now if I got a 12-yard curl, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with getting my speed burst at 6 yards. I'll still be under control. But some people are at 4. Some people are at 8. You know what I'm saying? Some people got better feet. Some people at 8. But that's something that's real good to kind of feel out. But it's cool to feel once you run in that curl and get that extra burst to feel yourself coming out that break.
Yeah. And I think that's something interesting that you're talking about that people don't realize is how much freedom you have as an individual receiver to add your own flavor to each route. Right? Yeah. Like, I can use my speed burst at 6. Someone else might be at 4. A lot of young kids think that a curl route is drawn as a straight line and then come back down. There's nothing. And it's something that's hard for me. Like, I'm a very technical coach. I try to give everyone here's where every step should be. Here's every ounce of detail. Here's how it should be. But it's like you can't let that have you become a robot. Like, it's still an art. It's still your art. It's still your painting. Every time you run in a route, you got to add your own flavor to it.
Exactly, bro. And everybody's different. You can coach one thing, but the way I get out of my breaks might be different from somebody else. The way, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's different, but at the same time, you can put your own flavor. Tay got his own flavor. Nunu got his own flavor. Everybody got their own flavor. You just got to figure out what's yours.
100%. And that's the most fun part for me coaching wideouts is like, here's a box I want you to live within. Here are the fundamentals I want us to all share. But then being able to let you go rock this way and someone else go another way, and managing all those different styles is a lot of fun as a coach.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah. So what is it about? You mentioned Devontae Adams, you mentioned Mohamed Sanu, the two previous guests. I think something we were both excited about having you on as the third guest was that your game is so much different than theirs. Talk to me, I guess, if you had to attribute your success to, a couple things, what makes you great? What has given you the success you've had so far in your career?
I would say my speed, man. My speed is helping me so much in my career, and not just my speed, but my consistency of catching the ball. When you think of speed guys and someone who's amazingly fast, they can't really catch. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to, let's say, a guy that runs a 4.6, him running. Like when you're running, like your head is moving. You know what I'm saying? So real fast guys, like, I mean, we're bouncing, bro. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like it's harder for faster guys to catch the ball. But for some reason, I'm able to kind of like focus in and slow my head down and slow the ball down. Well, I'm real good at catching, bro. And I mean, I sent you a few of my videos of me slowing the ball down, catching the ball, using my body, my hands, and things like that to catch the ball. So I think my speed and my catching ability, and definitely route running, bro. So and when you put all three of those together, it's that's hard to stop, bro. Somebody who's fast, who can run routes, and who can catch. So
100%. And that's why people ask, hey, how do you have all this? How do you overcome being a shorter receiver? It's those three things. It's your speed, it's your route running ability, your catching ability. You know, like size becomes much less important when you got all three of those things.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I didn't talk to you about is just getting off the line, bro. Like releases with press. One thing about being little, bro, when I played in Cleveland, we had bigger cornerbacks. And once I figured out how to get off press, once I figured out what I was comfortable with, and I used that and I changed it up a little bit, I mean, it drastically helped my game, bro. By being a little guy, DBs want to try to get their hands on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just use that aggressiveness against them. And if you use that against them, that's when you win.
That's exactly what we were talking about maybe a month ago when you texted me. You were like, yo, I just benched 225 18 times.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get physical with these guys. And I was like, yo, you really can't, because like, most corners don't have the balls to put hands on you. Because if they stop their feet and put hands on you and miss, like, you're out. Like, your speed is too fast. So they have to give you cushion at all times. It's hard for you to use your strength.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so interesting, man, getting into those nuances and so talk to me. So so last week I was talking to Tay about stealing a release. We texted about this briefly. We were talking about how when it's a run play for him, he tries to take his best release against a corner to gain information as to how he's going to beat him later. You kind of explained to me that you do something similar, but it's more to make him feel your speed. Take me through that a little bit. What you like to do on those off plays to set something up.
In the NFL, a lot of people watch film, bro. So you can see film, you can see speed, but at the end of the day, it's different to feel it. And when I say feel speed, bro, it's like really being man to man and really feeling this guy like pulling off on me. Like, golly, he is fast as he was on film. So I still release. I still release, and I also use that for like blocking plays. So on blocking plays, bro, I would just run as fast as I can down the field, bro. So that's really still in the release, but at the same time, I want that DB to feel my speed, to really like, golly, he's really as fast as I thought he was. So basically still in the release and also like making sure he felt my speed. Just so he can get off with me, I need a little bit more cushion.
It's just, it makes sense. Like, you have world-class speed.
Yeah.
Especially these corners. You know how cocky these corners come. So they're sitting there like, he ain't running by me.
Nah,
I got something else for you, boy. I'm gonna run by you right now. And the rest of the game, now you're on your heels.
Exactly. And I done ran 20 yards down full speed. I done ran 20 yards downfield full speed. And ain't no ball thrown. It's a running play. So they like, man, come on, bro.
you ever use something I teach at like the high school level is do that, steal a release, run him downfield. Now when he's chasing you on a go ball, then you go and you F him up. You get into his pads, you throw him he's chasing you, on man-to-man coverage, and then he's real
Exactly.
vulnerable, in the run game.
Exactly. It's block. It's certified as a good block too. I mean,
No doubt.
My man is not finna make that tackle.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer too, and like that wears on a DB when you're running through his face and you're putting him in the dirt, getting physical, and then you're running go balls by him, you're running curl routes at him like that. All that constant pressure in the run game, the pass that wears on the DB over 60 minutes, bro.
He thinking, man. He thinking.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. That was a really cool insight to hear for those fast guys, man. That's something all y'all should do, and you got the rest of the game set up from there. So what besides your speed? Someone asked, at A Manilas asked, besides your speed as a shorter receiver, and you kind of talked about this, like what makes you successful? But I guess let's turn it into like what advice, whether it might be motivational or technical, do you have for shorter receivers that you feel like, maybe guys who are shorter but not the fastest? Is there something you feel like is about your game that they can take with them?
Just doing more than what was expected of me. Just in the sense of, I mean, if I'm doing routes on air and, I mean, the timing is off with the quarterback, or I don't feel right on the route, or I don't like the route, or, I mean, I drop a ball, you know what I'm saying? Instead of waiting and going all the way back to the end of the line and waiting my turn, I stop everything and be like, nah, I got to get this route one more time. You know what I'm saying? I got to feel that. And that's one thing that I learned from Matt Ryan, bro. Like, just excellence through everything, through walk, through you know what I'm saying? Route through individual. Everything should be excellent. Everything should be perfect. It's like to the top of my curl coming out of my curl. So me doing what was more than expected of myself and me, bro, I feel like that kept me around. And my hunger, bro, I'm hungry to prove people wrong, bro, to prove my family right, man. That it just eats at me, bro. It was a time where, bro, I couldn't even sleep at night just because I felt like somebody was getting better than me. I felt like somebody was going to take my opportunity to show the world what I can do. So it's just that hunger, bro. A lot of people say they want to put the time in, but I mean, you can ask anybody that's around me, my family, whoever, bro. I was just on a different type of grind, bro. I couldn't sleep at night. I mean, I'm running here. I'm waking up out of my sleep to run here. So I was just on a different type of grind, bro. It was just different, bro. It wasn't that, I want to, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted it, bro.
No, that's amazing to hear. And I think it's something that the more and more kind of NFL guys have started coaching, I just had a kid drafted for the first time this year, like, you start to realize what separates guys who make it in the NFL and guys who don't. It's not really skill. It's that hunger. It's that consistent work ethic. It's that waking up to be the best every single day without a day off. Where do you feel like you got that from? Did you teach yourself that? Was it something that you were raised with? Like, where do you think that hunger came from?
I think it was something that I was raised with, bro, because throughout the years when growing up, my pops kind of instilled that into me, just being great. Just chasing greatness, if it's not something that I feel like I couldn't reach, I had to at least try to reach it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just doing more, fam. Just doing more. Like when I say doing more, not like, all right, I'm gonna get an extra 10, 20 balls. Like, bro, if it's not perfect, bro, you're not able to sleep. If it's not perfect, bro, you're not able to eat. Like, it was like drinking water, bro. I was working out, drinking. You know what I'm saying? It was really in me, bro, to prove people wrong. And just by my story, fam, like, I didn't have it easy, bro. I wasn't drafted. I wasn't heard of. Nobody knew of me. I was a tryout. And even when I made it on the team in Cleveland, you have to prove yourself every day. At practice, I have to leave an impression on this team saying, oh, we got to keep this dude around. And even now, bro, I feel like at practice, I got to do something. Even if it's just me running a go ball and I'm not even getting the ball. I need to be on film like, golly, he was running. You know what I'm saying? Leaving an impression every day, bro.
And I think that's so inspirational because, so many guys would rather point to their lack of size or lack of opportunities and use it as an excuse. But then they don't have that obsession with the craft. Like that shit was so real what you were just explaining, like that hunger, that not being able to sleep. Like that, you want to know why you're not making it? Because you don't have that hunger. It's not because of your height or because, you were overlooked. Like this is such a long process. You might not get that first offer. You might not get that combine invite. Yeah. But like if you can't breathe without football and you have that minimum level of ability, like you'll find a way to make it if you just never quit.
For real, bro. You'll find a way to make it. And I'm not just saying that, bro. Look at me. Bro, I'm 5'8", bro. 168 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm fast, but at the end of the day, bro, I just felt like my work ethic, my grind, and just I wanted it, bro. I wanted to be somebody in this world, bro. And not just me being somebody, but I wanted to be in this position to tell kids and people that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? And I love when people meet me, bro, because when people meet me, they look at me like, golly, you my size. And that just one alone, like, bro, if I can do it, fam, anybody can do it.
Yeah, like what excuses do you have when you're looking at the spitting image, right, of how you make it?
Man, I'm 5'8", man, 168, bro. Playing outside receiver. I'm not slide. I'm outside, bro. Press, all that. Go ball, off press. Bro. I'm doing all that, bro. I'm saying it's no excuse for that, bro. It's either if you want it or you don't, bro. And that's what it comes down to.
Plain and simple. That's amazing, man. I got goosebumps just because like it's so. I'm just thinking about all the kids that are just like you that are fighting for, that one look, and it's like this is what it's about, Like you are that spitting image of like, this is what it takes to be that. Like, what did you say to me today? You've always been undersized and overlooked, or something, or underestimated, and it's like that's the realest thing. It's such a cool chip on your shoulder that chip became a positive. If you were more privileged, if you were 6 foot. And maybe had some more looks that you might not be here right now,
I might be Julio though, man. If I was 6'3", 220, I might be.
Right. Real talk though, bro.
Nah.
That's mad funny. So what are you focused on right now? Like what parts of your game are you trying to improve? And also like, we were texting about it a little bit today. You've played in the Super Bowl. You just signed a pretty big contract. Like what are you trying to improve in your game right now? And then what are you hoping to accomplish overall going forward?
Just mentally, man. Just mentally becoming that guy to where I know what's going to happen before it happens. I know the coverage. I know, you know what I mean, the alignment of the DBs. I know how to watch film now. I'm good with film. I know how to study my opponent. But now it's kind of knowing what's going to happen before it happened, knowing that coverage, you know what I'm saying, and calling it out, because the game is real slow to me right now. I've been playing for a long time. So now just kind of using that for my advantage. Like I said, I don't have to use my speed all the time. Knowing when to use my speed, knowing when to slow down, knowing when to, you know what I'm saying, either bring my teammates up. It's not just me anymore, me trying to get this, me trying to get that. It's bringing my teammates up, bro. I became a leader. Yeah, and I've been pushed into that role, and that's what I have to be, bro. I have to be a leader from my team, not just, okay, Taylor got to get this ball. He got to get that. I got to get that. Now I'm focusing on being a leader, being that person that's in there early, not, you know what I'm saying, complaining about things, but overcoming those things, not with just me, but spreading that and bringing one of my brothers along. And that's some things that I'm focused on right now, bro.
No, that's amazing. And there were a couple questions. I actually had a couple questions. I was like, what does being a good teammate mean to you? And it's something I talk to my players about all the time. It's like, once you have reached that level where I can count on you to show up consistently every day, and you've matched expectations, my expectations for yourself. Now it's your job to be that leader and bring everyone along. But realize like that's controversial. You know what I mean? It's not always comfortable being a leader, and you're trying to push your teammates past their limits. Are there any stories you can think of, or times where it was like, you were kind of growing into yourself as a leader? And maybe some advice you have for guys that are growing into that role?
See, me, like, I've always been in Atlanta, like, we had Julio. Like, Julio, he was the leader. He did his thing. Sanu, they did their thing. Like, everybody kind of led in their different type of way and bringing things up. But at the end of the day, I felt like me coming into this role in Chicago, bro, I had to become a leader. Not saying there wasn't leaders here, saying that I'm coming from a Super Bowl team and I know what it looks like. I know what a brotherhood looks like. I know what a bond looks like. And I feel like me, I say something as simple as like dancing at practice. It sounds kind of crazy or whatever, but it loosens the mood up. It makes practice fun, bro. Once I seen my teammates was having fun at practice and enjoying practice and having fun, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that if I could bring that to practice every day, people would love to work. People would love to come to practice. So that's one thing that I seen that I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? These boys like coming to practice and having fun and enjoying ourselves, and you know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that I seen that stuck out to me just coming into Chicago. And also I'm just evolving every year, bro, becoming a leader in the sense of not just what I do on the field, but my work ethic, mental, writing down notes, helping the younger guys. So
being the example you want them to be.
Exactly, bro. So that's big, bro. That's been big for me, bro.
That's amazing. Tariq Cohen just commented, and he said, talk to him about that Miami game when you demanded the ball. It's a perfect example of leadership. So talk to me about that. I want to hear this.
Oh, man. Reed put me on the spot. Sometimes people shy away from the big moment or wanting to make the big play or whatever, but I mean, bro, I always been that person who wanted that. I always been that person who wanted to be in that position, and Reed just, oh my God, Reed's so crazy, man. So basically, we was just having some trouble, man, and I just came to the sideline and I told Coach, I was like, Coach, you got to give me the ball. I don't care how you do it. Coach, you got to give me the ball. You got to feed me. And, bro, when I tell you the next play, I made that catch when I was, like, upside down.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm, like, walking towards the sideline. I'm, like, walking towards my coach and Tariq, like, telling them, like, I told you to get me the ball.
That's so good,
crazy, man.
I was seeing the comments scroll up, and I noticed he was commenting. I was like, yo, I got to hear that. But that's cool, man. That's amazing because, like, that is part of – and I think that you're probably not comfortable demanding the ball like that until you feel like you've proven yourself to a certain level, where you feel like you're the guy who's taking notes and doing the right things after practice and living in that way where it's like, yo, I've earned the right to tell you when I need the ball because look at the way I'm handling my business. Look at the way I'm producing on the field. Like, now when someone like you in that situation says I need the ball, it means a lot more than somebody who's not following up type of actions.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Really crazy, man.
Yeah, no, that's mad funny. Yo. That's great. I got a few more for you, then I'll let you go. A couple guys in the comments were asking. My boy Agardology was asking, who's the hardest DB you've ever played against?
The hardest DB I've ever played against. I would say Joe Hayden, man. I would say Joe Hayden, bro. Joe Hayden. I feel like Joe Hayden was like the only DB that would like shoot his outside hand for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
And it was very weird because it's like I'm asking like, Joe, if you shoot your outside and you miss me, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? It's over with. But bro, he would shoot that outside hand, bro. And it wasn't all the time, but it was sometime. And I'm not gonna even lie. I say he caught me a few times with it, but I would say Joe Hayden. I played a lot of DBs. I played Darrell Reeves.
Yeah.
I mean, I done played a lot of DBs, man.
Yeah.
But
so when he would shoot that outside hand, he would turn in towards the quarterback and still play you man, or like that. Exactly. I can see how that throws you off.
Exactly. He would turn towards the quarterback and play man. But that's after he just played soft shoe. So you thinking you finna get up into him and do the soft shoe, and he throw that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's interesting. It's
weird.
I'll throw you off.
It's weird, bro. But he didn't. You can check his film and see like
any like pregame routines or superstitions that you follow every week before the game.
Like no drop balls during the week. None. Right. And if I do, I gotta go back and I gotta run that play all over again. Like no drop ball. None. Zero.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I can think of.
Nah. And then talk to me, like, last thing about your mindset. Like, what is your mindset going into a game? What is your mindset kind of approaching the line of scrimmage? Like, how do you talk to yourself? Because, you know, you're someone with a chip on your shoulder. You're someone who's overcome a lot. Like, generally, those people have mastered the way they talk to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one believed in you but you. So take me into that a little bit about how you've kind of talked yourself through the hard times, but also how you maintain composure, you know, in the big moments.
I just mentally prepare myself throughout the week. So, I mean, the coaches, they harp on that. If you do something repetitively, if you keep doing something throughout the week, you're doing it, and you running this route, you catching this ball, you catching it over your shoulder, you doing all the things right multiple times throughout the week. So when you get to Sunday, it's practice. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I can harp on, bro. I try to make my practice like games. So once the game comes, the game is practice. You see what I'm saying? So I really feel that way. You practice how you play. So if I'm catching this ball, a curl, you know what I'm saying, 6 times this week, I know they're going to call it. So, I mean, I didn't practice it all week.
Yeah.
It's money. So now it's time to really feel the leverage of the DB and try to get some yak and try to score with it. So you really just have to have fun.
No, that's amazing. That's something I try to do as a coach, especially for the younger kids. Like, the older they get, the less hard I am on them. But, like, these high school kids, like, I'm hard as hell on them in practice because I'm
you got to.
I'm trying to make practice more chaotic than the games. I'm trying to create more stress for you right now. And that when you're out there playing those bums on Friday, Saturday night, like, it's going to feel easy. But you don't want to disappoint me, and you're scared of me right now. I'm going to teach you how to operate, you know, with that fear. And 10,000 people on a Friday night is going to seem simple to you after that.
Yeah. A coach always told me, he was like, man, I'm going to coach you throughout the week. I'm going to coach you Monday through Saturday. We got Monday. I'm going to coach you Monday through Saturday. But when Sunday comes, I'm not coaching because it ain't no need to coach me. What you need to coach me for? You done 100%. Coach me throughout the week. We done grinded throughout the week. It's Sunday. It's time to play now. Ain't no coaching needed.
Once you get to game day, I got to be your biggest fan. You know, I'm there to support you. I'm there to love you up. I'm there to give you confidence. And if the work we put in during the week wasn't enough.
That's what I be telling my coach, man. It's Sunday, man. Just sit back and enjoy the show.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, bro. Anything else you wanna leave the people with?
Sure, I'm good, bro. I appreciate you having me on, bro. I enjoy
myself. No doubt, man. I thought you killed it. I'm excited. We'll definitely get you on here again and keep talking and keep doing the thing.
We gotta get 1,000 in the Super Bowl this year, man.
Yes, that's the goal. 1,000 yards in the Super Bowl.
1,000 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Well, I appreciate you, bro. We'll be in touch. Definitely do this again, but keep doing your thing. You know I look up to you, and thanks again, bro.
All right, then, boss.
All right, man. Peace.